We are dealing with a very strong but at the same time fragile animal. Your heart starts to pop, 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 pop.
The first thought is there's something wrong. Oh my God, what happened? It looked fine.
We started to be concerned about the animal.
Wanted. Wildlife veterinarians to capture and move wild animals. Applicants must be willing to work long hours in severe environments and highly dangerous situations. Meet Ellen Mesner-Rogers and Jorge Paredes. Two young doctors just crazy enough to answer such an ad. Join them in South Africa as they learn firsthand from Dr. Cobus Rath and a team of other game capture specialists the challenges and triumphs of modern-day conservation.
It's going to be the experience of a lifetime.
On the Great African Wildlife Rescue. In recent years, the South African National Parks Board has been fighting a constant battle to maintain the natural balance of wildlife. Moving animals from crowded areas to privately owned reserves is one way park managers regulate animal populations. Due to their unique size and shape, the capture of a giraffe is unlike that of any other animal. Hippos, hyenas, and lions are all horizontal creatures, whereas the giraffe is vertical. Capture specialist Dr. Pete Morkel teaches a team of rangers the fine art of giraffe capture. He describes the process in Afrikaans, a common language in South Africa. He explains that the giraffes will be darted with an anesthetic from the air. The ground crew will then run in as soon as they see the drugs begin to take effect and slow the animal down to ease its fall. Because giraffes are so tall, it is critical that the animal not be allowed to fall and hit its head. The workers will use ropes to slow the animal down and control its collapse. There is little room for error in an actual capture, so Pete has the team practice on each other with one man pretending to be the giraffe.
Yes, fun. Kom Anna, kom. Daar gaan die kameelvet. Daai man het bietjie laat steek. Jy het hulle te maklik dat hulle jou vang. Man net wag.
From lush forested areas to arid desert climates, giraffes can live anywhere there are trees. They are the world's tallest animal and can grow to the height of a two-story building. A giraffe needs a strong heart to pump blood through its extraordinary neck. These friendly animals travel in loose, open herds as they browse for food from the highest treetops. Jorge joins Dr. Cobus Rath and Dr. Do Grobler in a private game reserve called Nzalama to learn firsthand about giraffe capture. This protected area is in the northeastern corner of South Africa and is home to a strong giraffe population. Doe is in the air and looking for giraffe, while the ground crew follows along below, awaiting the signal. Jorge has worked with giraffes before, but only in zoos. He knows things are bound to be different here in the wild.
After anesthetizing them, you have to be quite careful when they go to the ground that they don't hit their heads. They're so high that if they fell down and they hit their head, that's over.
After the darts have been loaded, the air team and the ground crew must stay in constant communication to pinpoint the exact location of the giraffe. The helicopter must work to keep the animal close to access roads so the ground crew can reach it quickly. In perfect sync with the helicopter pilot, Doe fires the first dart.
We're receiving the signal that they already dart the giraffe. Once the drugs start taking his effect, everybody has to go down. And it's like, again, your heart starts to puck, 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 puck.
The terrain of Nzalama makes this capture extremely difficult. On legs nearly 2 meters tall, the giraffe moves easily over the long grass and rocks. But the rangers in pursuit have legs less than half that size and find it hard to keep up.
You have to be in very good shape for this kind of capture. You have to be running with a rope, and then you have to make a cross on her chest and then put her down. But of course, with all these trees and all these bushes, it's not very easy to do.
All of the rehearsing has paid off. The crew has brought the giraffe down smoothly and safely. But one concern is the drugs used to capture giraffes cause a temporary increase in blood pressure and a change in respiration. Dr. Cobus Rath shows Jorge where to inject the partial reversal or antidote. This drug will wake the giraffe just enough to bring its breathing back to normal. Once the animal has been partially awakened, the ground crew uses ropes to get it back on its feet. The team then guides it to a trailer designed specifically for giraffes called a chariot. Giraffes are not generally aggressive animals, but they can kick in self-defense.
If by accident you start kicking and one of those legs gets you, you're in big trouble. It's so strong that they can break a bone easily.
It takes the coordination of more than a dozen people to gently guide the blindfolded and disoriented giraffe onto the chariot. Hot and exhausted from the capture, water is used to cool the animal down.
When you chase an animal, you have to be very patient. But after, you have to be as fast as possible because it's a matter of life or death. All the animals, once you put them in the trailer and you start moving, they get calm. If they feel the movement, they get calm.
The crew transfers the animal from the chariot to a truck used to transport giraffe over great distances.
I was very surprised how quickly we did the capture of all these animals. Everybody knew their job, and that was why it was such a success.
In wildlife translocation, every experience is unique. Each environment and animal presents its own set of challenges. Our young doctors are about to learn that what went perfectly in the capture of one giraffe might not go as smoothly in another. Here in Okrabis Falls National Park, located in the Northern Cape, Cobus will lead Ellen and Jorge in an attempt to fix a problem caused not by man, but by nature.
There's a river that runs through the center of the park. It's actually created a gorge because of the force of the water. It's, in fact, so deep that the animals cannot cross it. Effectively, there are two halves to the park, and there's no intermixing of the animals between the two halves.
This separation has resulted in a shortage of female giraffe on one side of the river. Not enough females means fewer births. If left uncorrected, the giraffe population on this side could eventually die out. The vet's experience today would be to move a healthy young female across the river. The landscape of Okrabis is different from that of Nzalama and presents its own set of challenges.
And that's a nice thing about the game capture, of course, is that you move through so many different ecosystems. You know, you see from the wetlands to the dry area to desert like this, and where we're going will be even drier.
Yeah, but probably here is going to be a little bit easier than in Salama with the capture because it's more open. There are not too many for the giraffe.
Yeah, it'll be easier to chase it, although it's very rocky here. Eh? You know, there's a lot of rocks and guys can fall and so on. But yeah, it'll be easier to spot.
Shoot her and also to...
Yes, yeah, the darting will be easier, definitely.
Today, Dr. Pete Morkel will be darting the animal from the helicopter.
Morning. We sort of saw each other the other day. How you doing?
Since it is Ellen's first giraffe capture, Cobus details her role in the procedure.
I'll do the antidote and you do the antibiotics.
Yeah.
Okay.
20 cc's into the neck, but you must remember when we go in, the antidote will be in, so you must be quick.
Yeah.
Get it and
Okay.
finish. All right.
You want to give me the syringe?
There we are.
I love giraffes. They're tall, really graceful animals, but they can be really delicate, especially in capture. So today, I hope that things will go well and the animal will be fine.
Have you done any captures with using M50-50?
We didn't notice too much the difference because, you know, he just went up. It was just more...
Jorge has already done some captures. He has a lot more experience in this.
It's good to be able to ask him, you know, what do they do next, or how does that work? He's happy to go through every step.
As the helicopter leads the capture deep into Okrabis, Cobus alerts his apprentices of what to be aware of in this new environment.
Rope around, break it, you know, and then let it go down in a controlled way.
The problem here was that there are a lot of rocks. That means if you don't arrive immediately to the giraffe and she goes down to the ground, there are more possibilities that she could hit her head with a rock.
The ground crew waits near the capture site while the helicopter seeks out a female giraffe. Darting an animal that is running nearly 50 kilometers per hour requires a steady hand and split-second timing. Once a giraffe has been selected, Pete estimates how much drug would be needed to bring her down. Figuring out how much anesthetic to use is a complicated science that factors in the animal's size. The tricky thing, however, is that each animal reacts individually. After hours of preparation, the capture team now has just minutes to react. The ground crew is only a short distance from the darted animal, but by the time they arrive on site, things have already taken an unexpected turn.
It wasn't until we were almost to the giraffe that I realized the giraffe was already down. There's something wrong.
The giraffe has had an unusually strong reaction to the drug. Instead of gradually slowing down, it caused her to fall immediately. Pete and Cobus check the giraffe's neck and head to make sure she hasn't injured herself.
We want it to have as little stress as possible. That's why we have the blindfold, that's why we have the earplugs, to just try to keep it as calm as possible.
The animal cannot stay in this position for much longer, but getting her up safely demands care.
Because of the way a giraffe is built, they have a very hard time moving enough air through that long neck when they're lying down. So the sense of urgency is to get them back up where things will be back to normal.
Though she struggles to stand, the giraffe may be too groggy from the drugs to stay on her feet.
Time at this point is quite important because this animal have to be moved quite a big distance. The quicker that we act, the safer it will be for her.
The partial antidote is given, and ropes are wrapped around the giraffe to help steady her when she stands. Since the animal has already taken one dangerous fall today, the capture team handles her with the utmost care.
It's a very unstable looking process, but it works.
Blindfolded and drugged, she is totally reliant on the crew to guide her onto the chariot.
The danger at that point is that she's going to knock us with her head. That head is pretty big, and it could probably knock me right off the chariot.
They will safely secure her with pads and firm restraints for her own protection. Although the giraffe is safely aboard the chariot, the capture is only half over. There is still the stress of a lengthy journey.
She's just a little one. And, I mean, the adults are.
Yeah, well, they say that they normally they don't ship or they don't capture big animals and put it in here. So normally this kind of transport they use it only for survival. 4 years old, 6 years old.
Because of the giraffe's great height, the trucks will have to travel very slowly to keep her from being injured. It is a short trip by helicopter to the release site on the other side of the park. By truck, however, it is a bumpy 2-hour journey over dirt roads and narrow bridges. Once on the other side of the river, the crew sets out to find a small group of young giraffe that were recently relocated. Since giraffe are social animals, this female will easily adapt to her new surroundings. When she is released, she will quickly join the new group and eventually help to repopulate the area. Finally, preparations can begin to get the giraffe out of the chariot and back into nature. It has been a grueling capture for both the crew and the animal. The faster she is released, the sooner her stress will be over. So the team works quickly, hoping to encounter no other problems. Blindfolded for more than 2 hours, the light in the new environment is disorienting. The young giraffe is weak from the journey and drowsy from the narcotic. She struggles to stay on her feet.
My first thought is, oh my God, you know, what happened? It looked fine.
She was lucky that there was a small bush beside, so she hit the ground more slowly.
Chips out the way.
He tells everybody to back off. He just wants it quiet. He wants as few people as possible dealing with the situation.
The problem is that it was too long, that trip, that he was shaking too much and then trying to get out.
It's exhausted.
That is exhausting also, but it looks also like very groggy.
Yeah, it's almost like it's drunk, and that's often what you see before you get when they get darted. So I don't think it's a residual from the drug, but I'm not sure. So now they have it down, and they just have its eyes covered, so it's going to relax a little, and they're going to try to get it up now.
When she does get up, I keep feeling like, okay, come on, you can make it.
The capture team's patience and care has been rewarded.
The most important thing for me, what I learned after all this time, is how to be calm in danger situations for the animal. And if you are able to transmit this calm to the people who's working for you, that will make a difference between success and between failure.
This experience is a really good example of how difficult game capture can be. This is for the benefit of the animals, and despite the fact that we may have had a few minutes there where there was a problem, in the end, it's really going to be for the good of this animal and for the population as a whole.
Coming up on the Great African Wildlife Rescue.
The choices are to kill these animals or to move them to another farm. We're going to not just move these animals, but we're going to save their lives.
They're very dangerous. Stay out of the way of their hooves.
Their first rule is survival. It's run and fight or perish.